Good morning, you guys. It's your girl Kaycee. Good morning, KB besties. And today I am bringing you guys a very highly requested video, and if you want to get to the meat and bones of what this video is going to be about, then you can go ahead and skip to probably like 2 or 3 minutes in of the video, and that is where I'll be talking about how to secure a work from home job and as a work from home nurse. And I actually also just got off of an interview. I think with what I know so far, I am comfortable with sharing information and just giving you guys some insight on how to properly secure a work from home job. And these are just some steps that I feel like you need to take in order to do that. Now, I am not selling this information. This is all free game. So if you really want to hear about what I have to say, and you really want a work from home job, just watch this video because I'm about to put y'all on. So I actually just got out of an interview, and yes, this is how I did my interview. But I don't suggest this. Like, the lighting was low enough to where it looked like I had makeup on. I have lashes on, so that always helps. But I'm actually about to do my makeup now so I could record this video. So y'all stay tuned for the switch up. Let's chat it up. So like I was kind of saying in my intro, I really wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about how to secure a work from home nursing job. Now, I do believe that these tips can kind of speak to many different areas in the workforce, but I definitely wanted to focus on nursing because that's what I know and that's what I have experience in. And I really only have like 5 tips to kind of cover the basis when it comes to looking for a work from home nurse job and understanding what that looks like. Number 1, and we're just gonna get right into it, you have to know what kind of work from home nursing job you're looking for, because there are so many different areas that you can work in. You can work as a telehealth nurse. That's probably the most common type of nursing job you can work. And then there are also nurses who work as a real nurse, but they're working from home and they work 12-hour shifts and they're still taking care of patients. They still have about they have like a workload of maybe 5 to 10 patients, and they have to do like wellness checks, and each of these calls are about 10 minutes. And that's kind of called like a patient care coordinator more so. But you have to really understand like, what is it that you're looking for as a nurse? And then there are nurses who work in tech. There are nurses who work in the device area. There are nurses who work on the back end, so administration. You can be an educator as a nurse but working from home. So there are just so many different types of options that you have. So you really just kind of have to focus on what is it that you're looking to accomplish. Now, when you find that and you understand what that looks like for you, the next thing you want to do is really focus on finding how can you get into these positions and be who they look at when it comes to your resume. Now, resume talk, I don't really like to go into, and maybe one day my friend Dar will come on here and talk, because she is very knowledgeable when it comes to like resume building and kind of like knowing what that should look like. When it comes to your resume, just kind of give like a very surface level conversation of this. You have to make sure that the words that are on the application is the same words that is in your resume. Now, this doesn't mean lie, but if your skills sound like what they're talking about, include those under your skill set or include those in your experiences, because all of those things do matter. Now, this is one way to probably beat a plethora of nurses who are applying to the same position, because everyone may not know this. And so this gives you a one-up and gives you the opportunity to at least be seen, because with a lot of the work from home nurse positions, one of the biggest things I hear a lot is, maybe there's like 3 positions, but there are 10,000 applicants, because nowadays, everyone wants to work from home, whether it be for reasons of like, maybe you have a change in a family and you have to be home more, maybe you're a nurse who's burnt out and you're looking for a different route. So there are many different reasons, but a lot of the positions, especially like telehealth, it can be oversaturated, but even in that oversaturation, you can still stand out. Trust me. The next thing that you want to do is make sure that you have different skills that you can quickly do on Google. For example, You can get certified for Microsoft. You can get certified for Excel. If you want to go into like the project management route of nursing, you can get a PMP certification. You can also get certified in just like so many different areas. Like Google offers certifications. Let me see, there's another website. Let me see. You can also go on Coursera. It's spelled Coursera. And basically this is a website that allows you to take a whole bunch of courses. Some of them are free, some of them you may have to pay for, but there are courses and certifications that you can complete within a matter of weeks, and you can easily add that on your resume. And I would say when you get into the interview, definitely talk to those points, because a lot of times these work from home nursing jobs are looking for more than just nursing skills, right? They're looking for someone who maybe is flexible, someone who maybe has opportunity to learn and basically do things on their own because you're working from home. So you're not being micromanaged in most cases. So they want to know that maybe you can take on tasks on your own or work on projects. So telling them that you decided to self-elect yourself into a certain course for certification definitely shows to that. Another thing that you may want to do is become friends with people who already work from home. I would say for me specifically, my case is kind of like I was looking for a work from home nurse job, and I also had a friend who was working in a nursing job, and so I would say that I was blessed enough to be able to be connected with her, and she really helped me. So I would definitely say if you can get connected with somebody, you may not even need to know them. Like maybe try creating a LinkedIn account, which I think is a great idea to have nowadays for jobs to reach out to you. But just setting yourself up in a position where you can meet people who are already working from home. That way you can ask some questions and maybe even get a reference or get an opportunity to hear about a job before it even comes out to the public. Because a lot of times these nurses who work from home, they receive emails about internal job offers or job opportunities, and so they can let you know before the public even knows about it. And I think last but not least, I don't know if that was point 3 or 4, but I feel like this is probably my last point. I definitely think that my last point on how to secure a work from home nurse job is allow yourself to gain the experience that you are gaining in the hospital and really utilize those skills to help you decide what route is it that you want to take. You also really want to think about what does working from home mean to you, and this is important for when it comes to your interview. So let's say you get in the room, they see your application, and now they want to speak forward to you about possibly applying for a job. Now, it's very important to make sure that you are allowing yourself to give honest, true, and very particular and specific examples to certain questions they may ask. For example, let's say a question is you're working from home, but you're not sure how to figure out a certain answer, and you don't necessarily have anyone there to help you. How will you figure it out? So it's questions like that that kind of get you when working from home, and it's really just a matter of just know how to say exactly what they want to hear. And so I think my last and final tip is this: be patient with yourself. Allow yourself to go through the motions of applying for the positions. Maybe meet people who are willing to coach, or meet people who are willing to help you get in the room. I follow this certain TikTok. I don't remember her name right now, but maybe I'll include it right here. But I followed this lady on TikTok, and she is actually a work from home nurse coach. So she helps you actually get jobs, and she's helped people secure jobs. You do have to pay a certain fee. I don't really know all the information. I personally didn't do it, but I also have seen a lot of testimonials from people who have done it, and because they've done the coaching with her, she's been able to help them secure jobs. Now, I do think that, because I've had people ask me, is that something that I may be interested in? And I do think that I have something in store coming very soon, specifically from working from home as a nurse, because I am still very new in it. I feel like a lot of the knowledge that I have is still a growing knowledge, and so I want to be able to make sure that I am secure in that knowledge, so that when I bring it forth to people, it actually makes sense and it actually works. This morning, I actually had just got on an interview call for another work from home nurse job, which is only part-time because I do work from home full-time. And I'll go into my background a little bit, because a lot of people have been asking me like, what do I do on TikTok, and like how do I get, you know, this job and all this stuff. So I'll give a little update at the end of this. But yeah, and I had this interview not too long ago, maybe like an hour before this call, and I actually secured the job. So I think that is very, very, that just shows that what I'm saying actually makes sense, and I know what I'm talking about. And although I'm still learning, so far these tips that I have given myself and that I've researched and worked on are working. Now, giving a little bit of background on kind of like where I've been and like what I have been up to. So if you go back on some of my videos, you have known that I moved to Atlanta. I live in Atlanta, Georgia now, and it has been amazing. Like, I feel like this is one thing my husband did right. I mean, my husband does a lot of things right, but this was probably like one of the best moves we made so far, and it has been really amazing here. We have learned so much, we have grown so much, we have seen a lot. But I think in his career and in mine, we are definitely in two different fields, but somehow it just works together, which has been very interesting. But for me specifically, and I've been talking a lot, let me drink some water. I have been working as a nurse for maybe 6+ years now, and I recently stopped traveling actually, and I decided that I was going to be more I wanted to be somewhere permanently and feel like I have a family. And so when I moved to Georgia, I worked at a hospital here, and I fell in love with this certain area in the hospital called the ARU, which is an admin recovery unit. And let me tell you, it was amazing. Like, I think if you can put together like PACU and like maybe aesthetic nursing together, this would be like that happy medium between the two of them. Like, the staff was amazing, my manager was great, like the workload was great, like I was just so happy there. But then like I had a little bit of life changes, and we had some things happen, and so I had to be more present at home. And so that's kind of like what directed my search for a work from home nurse job. Now, specifically in my job, and I always get nervous talking about work, because like I don't want people to find this and be like, girl, I know that's what, and then my manager, it's just a whole thing. But for me specifically, I work from home as a nurse. I would say I'm a nurse advocate. I would also say I'm a consultant and a coach. And so basically I work with doctors, I work with investors, I work with different moving parts that has anything to do with consulting or coaching in a direction of driving usage. And so I think that, to say the least, I work from home, and as a nurse, the way I utilize my nursing skills is through assessment. So through assessment-based driven data, I'm able to help the company decide, do we move forward with this case? Do we move forward with this device? Do we keep doing what we're doing here? Is it working for the patient? Is it working for the doctor? And I'm using my research and my skills as a nurse, knowing what I know on the floor, meaning if a patient has congestive heart failure and they're taking medication like Lasix, is the Lasix working? You know, do they have kidney issues? Are these things affecting each other? And so because I have that knowledge, I'm able to use it and bring it to the table, and helping them decide on my level, how does it relate to what the doctors are talking about, and to talk about review of like what the doctor's needs may be. And so essentially I love my job, to say the least. It's definitely a learning experience. I've only been here for maybe, it hasn't even been more than 6 months now. I can honestly tell you that. And I tell you, I'm very fresh. I am fresh. I am a baby. But I've been able to learn and maneuver very quickly within the company, and I've also been able to set myself apart by taking on roles that I am passionate about, because it doesn't feel like extra work to me. These are things that I think about on a daily anyway, so why not just work towards it? And so I think that's so important also when it comes to working from home, is your initiative. Like, what is it that you're passionate about? And so in my job, I've been able to speak to those things and work on those things and focus on those things. So that's kind of like what I do and how I work from home and kind of like what my job is. And then this other job that I interviewed with is actually kind of like me being like a wellness coach. So basically I'll have the opportunity to check in on patients, maybe give recommendations, which is great. And I think it'll definitely help with like my nursing diagnosis skills, because you know nurses can diagnose, not on a medical level, but they can give like nursing diagnoses. And so that's what this position will allow me to do. And so, you know, those two things, like I really see that my health path is definitely moving in the direction of something that makes a lot of sense, and I'm very excited about that. But yeah, so I just wanted to really talk about that with you guys very briefly. I do have to get on a call for work actually, so I'm gonna get off of here and I will see you guys probably in my next video, because let me just talk a little bit about that too. YouTube is a very interesting world, and I would say that I have been learning a lot about like what it means to be consistent, and also what it means to bring valuable information to the table. And I feel like I'm still deciding what information is valid, because I feel like a lot of me is just trying to understand how can I bring value that somebody could actually use for their future, for the betterment of their future, and for the betterment of their health and their wealth and their life. And I think that that's kind of like where I have been with my content creation and like what that looks like. And so I've been very stuck for the past few weeks, because I've been trying to like get rid of stuff on my computer that doesn't make sense as far as content is concerned, or videos, and like clearing out my drafts and clearing out my camera. And so all of that has been a lot, and so bear with me. I really do appreciate you guys who support me, who follow me, who have subscribed to my channel, who have commented, and maybe I don't get back right away, which I'm working on, but also just like the people who just genuinely like appreciate my videos. But I say all that to say, yeah, I do have to get on a call, but I just wanted to thank you guys so much for watching my video. Thank you so much for continuing to support me. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video specifically. I am just so appreciative of you guys. Like I said, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't just watch, but definitely support my video. Help me grow. I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and we can do that because there are trillions of people on this earth. Give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next one. Peace. Bye.